Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now today we start the new series, A Long Way to Gibraltar. It's going to be an absolutely nuts day of crazy travel, but if you have no idea what I'm talking about, let me explain. My goal is to prove that you can ride the entire world by motorcycle, taking on each country leg by leg, aiming to store my bike in different locations while needing to fly home, work a full-time job and of course look after my amazing family. This is my dream, this is my goal, this is my adventure, so let's go. So my Honda monkey bike, Ashworth, my country sucking beast, is currently in Faro and it's at the Honda dealer, so that's the Algarve in Portugal. And what I've got to do right now, I've got to drive 188 miles to Bristol. I've got to get to Bristol Airport because the end of this adventure, the only place that flies back from Gibraltar to is Bristol. So I have to go to Bristol, 188 miles. But the story continues. But let's get on the road. Let's get going. Let's get to Faro.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.
Well, I've done probably about 45 miles and I'm thinking it's taking me down a lot of A roads and sort of busy dual carriageways. I'm thinking, what's going on? Surely it's not 188 miles to Bristol, and why is it not just taking me on the motorway? And then it kind of dawned on me. My sat nav is set for avoid motorways from the last monkey bike adventure that I've done. And then I'm like, you're joking me. So literally, I'm booting along going, no. So I pulled in, I've redone it, I've just lost some miles, got about 111 from where I am to go, but my time has just dropped off massively. So what this is quite funny is because Paul Checkers that you've seen on the videos many times, on the world trip side of things, he said to me to park my car at his house, because obviously he's a world famous Bristol taxi driver, and his company, since being on the channel, is so booming and busy, he's constantly at work with people wanting to go for rides with him. But he's like, park at mine, and Rachel Checkers, his daughter, that's also a patron to the Helmet Head channel, has offered to drive me to Bristol Airport, saving me the cost of parking. So I've set off really early thinking, it's a blinking long way to go, this is insane. But now the sat nav has literally cut off over an hour and a half of my travel time. So I've got loads of time to enjoy a Red Bull and then pull over and have some food before I get to the airport, and then probably stop and have a coffee, because I'm going to have plenty of time now to kill. So at the end of the day, this is already a true 11 out of 10 Helmet Head adventure. Cheers. I've got to get back on the road. Well, do I? Or just sit here for a few hours? What a plonker. Oh, special. Now the thing is, I am very much well known for healthy eating, and I think it's really important when you're on the actual road, especially when you've got loads of time to waste, that you just eat healthy food. Something with a bit of lettuce in, a bit of nice onion, a little bit of something, you know, something tasty, but something really healthy. Because a lot of thing is, and a lot of people don't get it really, about traveling and doing sort of world trips and stuff. It's all about keeping your body in perfect shape for when you take on like crazy off-road mountain sort of passes and pushing yourself to the limit and traveling hundreds and hundreds of miles. How I massively am able to concentrate for massive long amount of time, and this is by eating very healthy, and this is exactly what I'd recommend. I'm feeling more awake, more alert, as the healthiness goes into my veins, and this makes me into another human machine that can travel many miles. Now I've got about 55 miles to go, and around an hour and a half to kill before the time I'm supposed to arrive to meet Rachel and park my car and for her to give me a lift all the way to the airport. Now I've tried to actually ring Paul a couple of times, but it keeps going through to answer machine, because basically, again, because he's become so well famous since being on the channel, he's just booked up constantly. So I wanted to say thank you to him again, but I'm sure he'll watch this, or hopefully I'll get through to him later, but then I'll be on a flight and I'll get there. By the time I get there, it's going to be really late at night, because this is a ridiculous journey. So hopefully I'll get to say thanks. But dude, you're an absolute legend. Oh, it's just so healthy.
Every day I see miserable people doing things they hate just to fit in. I know it's easier to get along peacefully, but have you ever thought about you? Don't know why I keep on doing what I'm told to do, when the rules are made up by someone we never knew. Baby, wipe your tears and hear me out. We don't need someone to feel alright. Let's do the streets on Monday.
Well, I am almost at Paul's house. Now, I keep saying that Paul's in Bristol, but he actually lives in Bridgewater. So this whole time I've been telling you how famous taxi driver is in Bristol, that he clearly is, but obviously he's probably more famous in Bridgewater. So he's out doing his work right now as we speak. But the thing of it is, I now need to get to his house, park up. Rachel's already messaged me telling me that she's got some milk and she's going to make me a coffee when she gets there, because her dad told her so. So I'm going to have a coffee, a catch up with Rachel, then we'll jump in Rachel's car and we'll get to the airport. And then we've got a flight to catch.
The great yellow sun is reflecting in your deep blue eyes. The day has begun.
So Rachel's taking me to the airport. I've just jumped in her car that's very purple and very, very cool. She's asked me not to film directly at her, but she will answer a question. So my question is, since your dad has become so world famous being on the channel and he's fully booked, like even now he's working, has he changed? Is he kind of like a bit big-headed? And
I don't know. I think he spent a lot more money, but I don't think he's changed as such.
So he's spending the money like he's rich, like he's a lord, now he's been on it.
Yeah. No, I don't think he's really changed, but
Okay.
just more money spending.
Well, if he gets too big for his boots, give me a shout and I'll just tell him I'm a lord and he needs to act like a peasant, and we'll sort all that out. But thank you for giving me the lift. That's the biggest thing. 40, I've driven past the airport here, 45 minutes, now 45 minutes back to the airport. But it's saving me loads of car parking, and it's taken, so Rachel had to take her entire day off just to take me to the airport as well. So it's cost her a lot more than it's cost me. But we're going to the airport now. Well, Rachel's just dropped me off. I'm at Bristol Airport. Now it's time to get in, get through security, get on the flight and get myself to Faro at last. It's a 2.5 hour flight, flying with EasyJet. It's going to be late by the time I get there, but it's a beautiful day. Anyway, let's get through security. So that's security done. That wasn't too bad. They did touch me up and put my feet in a weird scanner, but I'm all good. So I've got an hour until my flight, so I'm going to grab a beer, let's jump on the flight, let's finally get to Portugal, let's finally get to Faro. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have landed in Faro. Now, the flight was a little bit delayed. It's 10:30 at night. It's obviously pitch black. There is no way in a million years I'm going to be able to pick up Ashworth. Obviously, the dealership, the Honda dealership in Faro is closed. So my plan is to grab an Uber. So I need to walk away from the airport that's behind me, and I need to go and find a nice place I can go and sort of get away, because it's a little bit cheaper. One of the things that I learned was if you just move away a little bit from the airport, your Ubers are cheaper. So I'll grab an Uber to the hotel. Hopefully I can still book it. I'm pretty sure it's until midnight. What a day, what a day. A ridiculous amount of miles in the car, a delayed flight. Obviously I had to get Rachel just drop me off. And now I've got to get an Uber to get to the hotel, and I still don't make it to Ashworth. I've got a few more things I want to say, but let's get to the hotel. It's too late to get a beer or anything like that, but it is what it is. Well, I have arrived in Faro at the hotel, and obviously, let me just double check the time. Yeah, it's stupidly late. It's nearly 11:30. Nowhere's open. Of course, it's not at this time. So I've got myself some supplies from the vending machine. I've gone really cheap for hotels. I'm trying to keep my budgets down, so this is insane. But my night, my tea, my evening meal is going to consist of exactly this. So I have myself a very posh meal tonight. This is like the a la carte of dining with a Snickers. A Coca-Cola I've already cracked open because I just cannot wait. And just for hydration during the night, a bottle of water. Now you can hear the road literally just outside that window, so it's going to be probably a noisy night because that road seems to be quite busy, but it's all good. I've managed to get all this way. I'm quite happy. It's been quite obviously a long day, but I'm going to get to Ashworth tomorrow. But what's been unbelievably nice of people is that all day people have been sending me PayPal things to buy me a beer. So I've had a couple of beers and I've had some wine on the plane. Just niceness, not asked for it at all. It's just lovely, isn't it, when people do that? But why I've had this big gap as well at home, other people that subscribe to the channel and support the channel have also really supported me. And I want to just go through two people, but first of all I want to start with a guy called Chris Goff. Now, Christopher Goff, if you see him on Facebook, that's what his actual proper name is, but we're going to call him Chris because it's more cooler. So Chris Goff obviously has seen everything that's going on in the world with the heat and the weather and all this stuff, and he decided he's going to help me out and completely kit me out with some proper true 11 out of 10 stuff. So let me just go through what Chris has been sending me to get me geared up for all this hot weather, and also obviously on the next leg after this are going to Africa. So he's proper sorted me out. So let me just go through all the things that he has been sending me. It's blown my mind. Check this out. So Chris has sent me, right, check this out. It's a mesh jacket. So obviously it's got all the breathable holes in here, and he sent me this. So literally, I think he's probably worrying about me riding along in a t-shirt or just with my jacket on. But this is going to be game changing, and because it's grey, it's not going to soak up all that heat as well. So hopefully I can be proper safe as things get a little bit more crazy. Plus he sent me 3 sets of mesh gloves. I'm going to save my favourite set to show you in just a second, because that set's going to be called the Chris gloves. But he sent me 3, but I've left 1 pair at home because they've got red on them. They absolutely suit the Africa twin. I brought these to wear, but I've got a special pair that he sent me and something else. So I'm going to call this the Chris outfit. Let me show you what else he sent me, and let me reveal these gloves.
Everybody, can you feel the groove? Grab somebody, let it go. Ooh, everybody, can you feel the groove? Grab somebody, let it go. Ooh, everybody.
So literally, he has sent me everything that I could possibly need. I've got my mesh jacket so the air's going to flow through it and keep me cool. These are called the Chris gloves, so every time I have to go, don't forget the Chris gloves. And then he's given me a camel pack, obviously to match the gloves, so I can sip wine, so I can basically be completely gazeboed throughout my entire adventure. I am sorted. Check this out. Cheers, Chris, dude. You've literally set me up with so much stuff. He's bought me one more little thing. I'm going to save that for when I put it on the bike, because that's something really special as well. Then that brings me on to the next thing. Now, one of the things that I said that I really wanted to get, and I put it out there on the Facebook page again, social media, to turn around and say, is there anybody that's got one lying around or any companies that are interested in supporting me? Basically, what it is that obviously as things get more and more crazy and more nuts, I want something that's an SOS, something that I can press when things go massively wrong. So for instance, Africa, I'm going to be there without any phone signal, what means that if things happen to go wrong, I need to know that I can press a button and I'm going to be safe. Now these devices are seriously expensive, like hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and this sort of, again, massively blown me away. Now I've got to pay for the subscription, of course, and the activation fee. It's about 70 quid in total, but this device could literally save my life. So let me show you it, because it's just mental. So this here is a Spot Gen 4, and what it can do is it can do tracking, and then I can set someone up, say like my wife, that I can press the button for, to basically check in to say that I'm safe. Now behind this panel right here is the SOS button. Now if I press this SOS button, my coordinates are sent to a cracked team of rescue people, and they will come and save my life. And not just that, because the guy that sent me this is Neil McKinnon, and now Neil has been supporting me for massively ages. He's been on all the Patreon stuff. He is organising next year's Patreon meet. He bought this to keep me safe. So behind that button, if I press that, I've been told and guaranteed that that's now called the Neil button, because if I press it, Neil will also be dispatched. And apparently he's a very nice sight in Lycra, and he's promised if I do end up pressing it, he will turn up in Lycra and save my butt. So I now have an SOS device that, to be completely honest with you, is massive peace of mind. Unbelievable peace of mind. Okay, so now it generally is time for me to end this video. I need to get myself to bed. Tomorrow's going to be huge. I get reunited with Ashworth. My plan is to get up early, get there for when the dealership opens, collect the bike. I've got to pay for the tyre and the service. It's about 250 euros they predicted, so I'll see what it is when I get there. They've stored it for me now for 2 months. 2 months without a bike is just, it's been really hard not to fly back early, but I've had to do this to raise the cash to be able to be here. So tomorrow I get reunited, and I'm got to try and get myself some sleep so I'm not exhausted. It's going to be amazing. Just thank you so much, obviously, to Chris and Neil, and thanks for everybody that's been buying me a beer. It's all over the Facebook page, for all those people. But just, you're all incredible. Right, to bed. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you when we get reunited tomorrow in the most epic day ever. And then we're just going to pick somewhere in the Spanish mountains and head there and see what happens. It's just going to be bonkers. So I'll see you then. Bye bye for now.
This adventure is supported by Ashworth Automotive in Weston-super-Mare, the #1 garage keeping you and Helmet Head on the road.